world today has two kinds of roads. They're the modern roads, and then there are the ancient roads. Now these ancient roads, these ancient paths, have lessons for us. Once we understand the path, we often understand the story with new insight. I like to call these secrets from the ancient paths. Now perhaps no ancient road in Israel is more famous than the one right behind me across this canyon, across this wadi as they say here. That's the road that connects Jericho with Jerusalem. How do we know that this is the very road? Well, look at the land. This is where the land has lessons for us to help us understand insights from the Bible. The Negev desert gives way to the Judean wilderness, and the Judean wilderness gives way to the Benjamin desert. All of these places have land so unforgiving it's almost impassable. But right at the junction of the Judean wilderness and the Benjamin desert is a valley, and that's where we are right now. Now the final argument to be made that this is the famous Jericho-Jerusalem road is the fact that there's water all along the way. God provided the water for the people as they came to Jerusalem. There's no doubt that tens of thousands of families walking from the Galilee to Jerusalem walked this way. Have you ever thought about it? That includes Mary and Joseph as they walked toward the Christmas story. Mary and Joseph had come this way many times, I'm sure, with their family. That's the way all Jewish families came from the Nazareth area, right down the Jordan River Valley. They'd rest in Jericho and then get ready for the long 18-mile brutal hike that goes up to Jerusalem. That means Jesus also knew this road as a boy, as a teenager, as a young adult, and then in his ministry, taking his disciples along this road many times, including on his last journey to Jerusalem, where he would be crucified. No telling how many times Jesus took a drink of water out of the streams behind me. You know, I think it's interesting to think about the fact that God commanded all of these families to come to Jerusalem 3 times a year, at a minimum once a year, for the religious festivals. What a long journey. I mean, think about the hike from Nazareth or Capernaum all the way to Jerusalem. Most of these families were walking. That's something I can't even comprehend. And the reason they were all coming to Jerusalem, God asked them to come. He commanded it. I want you to show up once a year, 3 times a year for the religious festivals. And those obedient families made this journey over and over and over again. Now, this road, this ancient Jericho-Jerusalem road, so famous that Jesus used it as the setting for the Good Samaritan parable, this road to me is a dual lesson. Number one, it's a road of obedience. I mean, you walk this road because God asked you to come this way. And number two, it's a road that shows us again, God's going to provide for all of your needs. You need water on this road? It's one of the few places in this entire 150-mile stretch that you can find fresh water, and there's a lot of it here. God provided for all of their needs. In your life, in my life, God's still going to call us to ministry. He's going to call us to challenging things, to difficult things. There are times when we're afraid to start the journey. We wonder, can it possibly happen? Will I succeed? Listen, God's job is to call us to whatever He wants to call us to. Your job, my job, is to obey. You start this journey, this ancient road is evidence that God will provide all that you need along the way. From the road that leads from Jericho up to Jerusalem, I'm Andy Cook.